I like to bring up our elder statesman, the one that we all look up to very much, to kind of begin the proceedings with us. And his name is Joe Barrett, and he's going to be 82 my dad is the 24th of January. Isn't yours coming up?
July.
Huh?
July.
He's March?
Yeah, right.
July?
July 25th.
You're July?
One day.
I'm sorry I brought it up so soon, Joe. You mean you're only 81 and a half? I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me.
I recently visited the great jazz clarinetist, Joe Barrett, at his home in South Jersey. My main purpose was to record his stories about George Mesterhazy, Joe's great friend and fellow musician, who died at 59 in 2012. Together they made Memories of You, one of the best jazz CDs my wife Nancy and I have ever heard. Towards the end of my interview, I asked the soon-to-be 87-year-old to give me his own life story. Could you do it in 5 minutes? I rather stupidly added.
5 minutes? I was born in 1928, the inlet section of Atlantic City. My mother was very musical. She could play piano by ear, no lessons or anything. She could sit down at the piano and play any song you wanted to hear. She was always singing. I had an older brother who at one time wanted to be a drummer, and this was in the bad times back in the 20s. And my father bought him a set of drums, and then he never kept it up, never played them. And so when I came along and was interested in music, it was with a doubtful eye. But when I was quite young, I had a cousin who played guitar back in the 30s. Of course, no television or anything, and that's when everybody in the neighborhoods knew each other. He used to go to the neighbor's house with his guitar, and he'd play and sing a couple songs, and then he'd go to the next neighbor and say, and he taught me how to play ukulele. I was too little to hold a guitar, and I used to go with him and play ukulele. I was about probably 6 or 7 years old. Then I remember one time my father bought me one of those whistles that you, with a sliding thing, you know. Within an hour I could play any song on it. And then another time we were going to Philadelphia for something, and it bought me a mouth organ. And by the time we got to Philadelphia, I could play any song you told me to play that I knew. I was only a kid. Little old songs that I knew as a child then. So I had a music ability, I guess. When I was 10 years old, my father bought me a clarinet and lessons. I started playing jobs with kids' bands and all that stuff. But then I went in the service when I was 18, and I wound up in the Army in special service. And I traveled all over Europe entertaining the troops with a soldier show, they called them. Our show was Sound Off. When I came back home, I went to the 20th Century School of Music. One of our classes was ear training. And we used to hope that somebody would be coming up on the elevator because the elevator was an E. And if the teacher asked you, he would hit a note on the piano and ask you what that was. And if you heard the elevator coming up, you could tell relative pitch. Played every hotel in Atlantic City, the old Traymore, Melbourne, Blenheim, the Madison, the Ritz, the President, the Haddon Hall, the Chalfont, in the show band of the Steel Pier for all the vaudeville acts. I was in the Ice Capades Orchestra for 7 years during the summers. I was in the show band at the 500 Club for 4 years, and in the show band at the Jockey Club for 4 years. Played most of the casinos, and one of my last jobs, got a job playing with the Dixieland Band on the paddle boat, going up and down the Mississippi River. That was a fun job.
Here's our clarinet player, Joe Barrett, again, to play an old standard, Basin Street Blues.
Sounds like a good life. Sleep all day and wake up and go to the nightclub.
No, I was an electrician all day. I went to trade school and graduated the electrical trade. I started my apprenticeship in 1946, and that was the year I turned 18, and the draft was still on from the Second World War. Rather than be drafted, I'll join the service. They said you can have your pick of what you want to be in the service if you joined, which was not true. I went through 8 weeks of basic training and then 8 weeks of band training, and then I started to serve my apprenticeship, so I went in the service. I never told the Army that. I just told them I was a musician, and I lucked out and I got to be a musician the whole time I was in the service. And when I came back after going to music school for a year, I went back to my apprenticeship and became a full-fledged union electrician. Was that for 40-some years. I don't know how I ever did it, but I worked 5 days a week as an electrician and 7 days a week for I don't know how many years as a musician. 7 nights a week. come home from my electrician's job, get a nap, and go in and play till 3, 4 in the morning, and come home and get maybe an hour or two sleep, be an electrician all day. I was much younger then I could do it, I guess. I don't know how I ever did it. I'll be 87 in July the 25th.
What's the secret to being as healthy and smart as you still are?
Came from good parents, I guess. I don't know. The family was always healthy. Although my mother did die, she was only 59 years old, but she had a heart attack, never had heart trouble, had a heart attack and died at 59, which was a shock.
That CD is so amazingly great that you guys made.
George and I, for years, he kept saying, we got to make an album. Time kept going by, and then one day I said to him, George, I'm really getting old. I'm not going to be able to play too much longer. And we talked it up and decided we would do it under my persistence, because I said, George, you wait too much longer. It's not going to happen. The first half we did in George's Marion Inn. And then the second night we recorded at the Sandy Point in Summers Point. Dan Anderson, the owner of Sandy Point, told me a few months ago, he said, you know, Joe, he said, I keep your album in the front seat of my car, and every night, after all the hardships of running this restaurant, he said, I put your album on as I'm driving home. I enjoy it so much it puts me at ease. It made me feel good that part of it was recorded in his restaurant. So,
do you have any other CDs?
No, we were going to make another one, but never got around to it. I'm too old to start that now.
I wish you had a ton of CDs, but it's just great. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Though technically George may have been playing this for somebody else, I think he would be very happy to have it repurposed to celebrate the birthday in 11 days of one of his closest friends.